Okay guys, so now we are ready to animate. But we will animate the background because our character has already or is already animated. He's moving. Yes, but now it's time to add some animation with the background. Okay. Now, as we have discussed in our recent video lesson, still part of this session, session 9, we have a camera prepared and a camera peg that is going to be used for animation. So again, if we are going to animate, we are required to have a peg. No? If there is an object, or sorry, if there is a layer to be animated, then that layer also requires a peg. Okay? That's just a reminder. Now, next, I'll go down here at the layers. You will see also that after we have created the camera earlier, the camera also has a layer now. But remember, the camera, we have added a peg, so the peg also appears here in the camera layer. And as you can see, the peg is the one having the keyframe. So the peg is the one that we will be animating. Okay, so let's start. Initially, there is already a keyframe here, just like the way we have in our key drawings, right? So that means this is important. And why is it important? Because it is, if I select the peg, it is the starting position of the peg. There. It's the starting position. Okay? So it's up to you now. Where would you like the camera to be positioned as its starting position? Where? So for example, if I am going to move the camera, I will use this, the move tool. Now I can use it because I have a peg. And then I can drag it, let's say, to the side. Oops, sorry. Okay. Select that peg. So here, let's say I will drag it along that side. There. Let's say this is going to be the starting position of the camera. That's where I would like it to be. And then I would like it when it hits frame number 15. When it hits frame number 15, I will add another keyframe. So you can click here to add keyframe, or the shortcut is F6. A keyframe is created. So now you can see keyframes, keyframe. So if I am to, let's say, move, I would like the camera to move here, to pan, and I'll be able to see the other three, right? Because in the first frame, this is the tree that I saw. So in the second, in the last frame, I would like to see the thicker, bulkier trunk here. Now let's try and play it from the start, saving, and then I'll play. There. So there's a movement. Now let's say I would like the animation of the camera to be a bit slower, right? But I want this position, but I want it to be a bit slower. If you want it to slow down, you can position it at a further. Yeah. But of course, you will only be seeing the position of that camera. You will feel that it is slow. Yeah. So it will not reach the other trunk. The idea here is if you want a slower animation, again, like what we have discussed, you just need to add more frames. Okay, let me undo that. That is just to show you the idea of speed. There. So there is our character. in the background. So next, let's say that's my camera animation. So after that, since this is just going to be a panning motion or a panning movement, because the file that I have created is only big enough horizontally, it's only wide, right? So what's next? The next thing is we will try to do a parallax effect. A parallax effect is, for example, if you are riding the train, particularly the MRT, look at the window, you see buildings that are near you. They are moving faster, right? But as you look further, the structures behind either taller buildings or even mountains, if you're looking at the east side, you will see that the further you look, the slower the movement becomes. So that is what you call your parallax effect. Okay, so it adds depth. Here also in animation, we can achieve that in Toon Boom Harmony. So as you can see, automatically there has already been initial keyframes on our background layers. Now we can add movements on the final frame. But what are we going to add first before we can animate them? We will add pegs. Okay, correct. Pegs. So you can add a peg by layer. You can select one, for example. The drawing layer I will not add because it's already animating. For example, I'll select this, the foreground, and I'll press Ctrl P, and I have a peg for it. But if I would like to add more, I would like to add animation peg to more than one layer, I can press Control P. I'm sorry, Shift Control P. Let me select that. Shift Control P, and they will have their separate pegs. Let me repeat. I'll select, for example, these bunch of layers. So to add to add an animation peg to them all at the same time, Shift Control P, and they have their own animation peg, each of them. So now all of the layers are ready for animation. Be reminded again, be reminded, it is the animation pegs are the one that we add keyframes. Okay? So it doesn't matter if there are keyframes already in these exposures, because those are the layers. Remember, the pegs have their own layers. So this is where we will add. Okay? Anyways, I would like to have, for example, I would like to move not the background, I would like to move the trees here. These trees, I would like them to be moving. Let's say the camera is moving what? To which direction? The camera is moving to the right of the scene. For scene right, the camera is moving. I would like, let's say, this layer, this set of layer, those trees. Here's the peg. I will press F6. So they are now having their keyframe. That's the starting point. And let's say I will move them F6. I would like to move them to the right. No, to the left. So this will be a bit faster. Let's just check. So if I see, So you could actually see that there is movement in the background. But if I change my mind, I move it here onto this side. Let's see what happens. If I play it, see? So you will see layers, right? Being followed. I'll do the same to the next level of trees. Only select this. Again, I'll press F6 or insert the keyframe here. You can press that. Insert keyframe. And let's say right here, F6. I will move it, but a little bit less. Not as fast. Oh, those are the vines, yes. Not as fast as the trees. I'll do again to the next level of trees. So F6 here, and then F6 at the last part, and then I will just move it a little there. So as you can see, the background is having these interchanging portions, and then these level of binds, or these part of the binds, again I'll move them in a separate direction, opposite direction. And if we are to check, see, so there is some movement going on. I would like also to move the petals or the mid-ground a little bit. So the mid-ground is going to be selected. No, not the mid-ground, the petals of the mid-ground. Sorry. So the petals of the mid-ground are here, there. So let's say I would like them to also to be moving a little. We're going here. 6. Let's say the petals are going to stay a little bit within the scene. So it makes us feel that he really took a step forward, right? As per the animation of the character. See? Right? So he got near the petals. So let's say last, I would like to move the foreground, the grass. Sorry. But I will just move it a little. Just a little bit. Right? So I'll press F6 here. There. Another F6. I would like to move it also sideways. Let's say here. As if it's leaving, also being left. So it's just a simple play, right? A simple test. There. In animating our backgrounds. So now, since I'm done with that, let's say I'm okay with those animation, I would like to hide the rest of these. I can bring them out later on. Resize this. I am on crop view. That's why I'm seeing exactly what I need, or sorry, what I will be rendering for video. Let me deselect the peg, hide this again, there. So after this, I can zoom in a little bit, there, save my work, and try and play the animation, there. So it's a simple movement, but as you can see, it is not a flat surface, or it doesn't appear to be that completely flat or 2D, right? So that is what we call a simple parallax effect for the background animation. Okay, I hope you try it out in your own scenes. See you on the next session.